and you'll be able to speak to items 1C, 1E, 1F, 1H, 1K, 1N, 1O, 1T, and item number 3 in your 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Eric Preven, and I am from Studio City, and I am running for the office of Mayor of Los Angeles. These items that are under the heading of item number 1, the liens on properties, are completely out of control, and I'm now getting clearer guidance as to what specifically is going on. Individuals in Los Angeles who are unable to make ends meet across all the districts, from the Palisades, where Mr. Bonin and his team are working on one, to Mitchell O'Farrell's district in Hollywood, where they're working on one, are finding places where people have put up homes in their garage or allowed kids to live in the garage or such like that, and they are tagging them with orders to take them down. It costs people a lot of money to get rid of it, and then the people who live there are forced out into the affordable housing crisis that we all face. Now, the reason why we're doing this, and Mayor Garcetti made it clear in his budget comments, is very specific. We're doing it for revenue. We're doing it for, despite the comments about Mr. Santana, who is a nice chap, no one wants to doubt that, trained under Bill Fujioka. That always gets left out of the media, but nonetheless, very nice man. The plan here is to make up for the shortfall in the $245 million deficit, which we are now facing. Not the $1.3 billion that we were facing when Mr. Krikorian bravely accepted budget and finance, but now we are facing yet a new set of escalating liabilities and costs for Angelenos. It is deeply worrisome because whereas the people who are trying to speak on their liens here today waited over an hour and a half during this coronation, when we tried to speak about the legal liability up in budget and finance on January 9th.
Mr. President, the speaker has veered off topic. He's on items 1 and 3.
Right. So I'll shift to item. May I finish the comment on 1? It's about liens, sir. There are multiple liens you want to address. I'm happy to identify the woman in the Palisades who I spoke to, or the woman in Mr. O'Farrell's district who came down here to speak on those items. But you had a big presentation, and many of them had to go. And my point is that in budget and finance, within the first few minutes the other day, you would not allow any comments on the escalating liability. So that's the point that I wanted to nail home. And I appreciate your raising your voice, Mr. Falbo, but where were you when there were no cards outside the budget and finance meeting?
Again, the speaker is not on an agenda item.
No, I want to finish on item 3. Give me the 30 seconds on item 3. Item 3, briefly, is reasonable reaching out to help with immigrantes in Los Angeles. We all understand this is our community. These are our residents. And whereas I appreciate the spirit of seeing how the government can be helpful, I get extremely upset when grandstanders like Mayor Garcetti and Sheila Kuehl and the Hilda Solis make pronouncements about putting public dollars into the legal defense for those individuals who deserve a legal defense. But Mayor Garcetti should consider raising money privately for them as opposed to raising money for himself, $250,000 Joe Biden last week.
Mr. Preven, you have your minute for general public comment now, sir.
So, my general public comment, I will finish the point that I was trying to make. Once again, it's very difficult in this forum. We want to fight for legal defense for Angelenos, obviously, and we should raise money for same. But nobody has raised money for the individuals who come down here and are facing a $3,000 pernicious, escalated 250% penalty on a few $100 fine for something that they already spent tens of thousands of dollars sometimes to fix. Or in the case of the woman from Mr. Mitchell O'Farrell's district, a woman whose tenant refused to pay his building and safety fines. And now they are leaning on her property, and I looked at the lien with my own 2 eyes on her county property tax bill, $7,500 or something like that she has to pay, or she's going to be facing some very, very serious government actions against her. This body needs to step forward and reduce this idea that this is not the way forward. We are not going to make the money that you have got us in the hole by tagging ordinary Angelenos.
Thank you, Mr. Preven. Mr. Walsh?